Hey there, beauties. It's your girl Mia. Today we're going to be doing this beautiful look right here. And we're going to be using the Profusion's Cosmetic Lovestruck. So if you'd like to recreate this look, go ahead and hang tight, and here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sanitize our hands. I did go ahead and pre-wash my hands, but we're going to make sure we're not introducing any new bacteria to our skin. We don't want any breakouts, especially for me. I break out pretty easy. And the next thing we do is one of my favorite things is picking out the scent of the day. And today the scent is going to be Versace Yellow Diamonds. All right, let's go ahead and get some of that on. All right, wonderful. All right, so I'm going to be using a few different things that I haven't used in the past on camera. Now, what this is going to be it's an Artiste dupe. It's really, really cool. I found it on Amazon, and I'll try to link it in the description box below. They're very, very cool looking. They've got like almost like a rose gold copper look on the outside with a rubber handle and very densely packed fibers. I really like these. These are super, super good for applying foundation, powder. You can use blush. I mean, there's a million different ways that you can use them, and they come with a really cool little case that sets them up on your beauty stand. So I definitely recommend them. They're very inexpensive. I want to say when I purchased them, they were between $15 and $20. Could have been even less than that. But we'll definitely, I'll look them up. I'll find them and link them in the box below. Blah, blah. All right, and of course, everybody knows that I love the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This one's in the shade Medium. And I'm just going to take this. I'm going to apply a little bit on the back of my hand. And again, my hands are clean. And I'm going to start swatching that on. I'm going to kind of blot it a little bit so I don't get a lot of super pigmented product all in one. I really like the way that this actually, matter of fact, let me pull these behind my ears a little bit. I really like how these actually apply. It applies the product nice, really, really nice and smooth. Take this out. Now, if you have any facial piercings, I will always recommend that you take them out when you are applying your makeup, so that way you don't have a blank spot. That's really important. Now, in the future, we are going to be having some new videos going up, and the videos are going to be about kind of how to apply foundation, how to match them, because there's a lot of old ways that people have recommended, such as like swatching it on your wrists. Well, how often is your wrist truly the color of your face or even the rest of your body? And I don't really use a whole lot of product on my eye, but I am going to use just a little bit that's left on the brush, and a little bit goes a long way. Now, guys, if you have a lot of fine lines, wrinkles, or creases, you don't want to use a lot of product. I would recommend just kind of a sheer coverage and gently going over and make sure that you set it so that way it doesn't transfer or settle into those creases. And right now I've got a good even coverage. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any spots. I think that should be good. And I really love this. I really love this base because it goes so well as far as like it stretches and it covers the areas that like blemishes, but yet it still lets like your beautiful freckles come through. Now you can actually add a pigmented powder to actually add more coverage so if you don't like the idea that your freckles are going to come through, that's another thing that you can do to help with that. Now I have a combination undertone, should I say. I have a yellow undertone, but I also have a pink, which usually falls within that neutral, but for some reason I can't use neutral product. What I am going to do in the future is I'm going to show you guys how to use color correctors to help neutralize some of those undertones that you're not really wanting to shine through. But again, guys, if you're questioning the type are the color that you have. Say you have one that's darker than your skin and lighter than your skin. What I would recommend is going with the lighter, because you can always bronze up that product, but it's really hard to neutralize that pigment when it's on your skin. And remember, a lot of things, a lot of products will oxidize. And what oxidizing is where the pigment actually gets a little couple of shades darker, so it can really make a difference in matching it with your skin tone. All right, now we've got that nice and done. Woo, look, you can see no eyebrows. That is not me, ladies. The gentlemen, that is not me. That is hormones, and that is not my plucking. All right, so what we're gonna go with next is I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a highlight. A lot of people like to do their eyes before they do all of this. Not me. I'm pretty straightforward. I have a routine every time. Maybe I'll do that for you guys one day, just change up my routine. But I'm gonna use the Shape Tape. This one is in Light Sand. Let me hold that up there for you. And we're really trying to focus towards the center of the face, just like we always are. So I kind of use little V's on my face. And then I line down my nose to kind of elongate it. And a little bit on the chin. You can also kind of pull it this way. Now you can also use it in the corners of your mouth and in the Cupid's bow if you want to make the Cupid's bow stand out a little bit more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our beauty blender. Okay, now this is a Real Techniques beauty blender, but you can use whatever you have, and we're gonna moisten it. Now it's already been pre-moistened, but I wanna add something to help this makeup set and stay a little bit better. So I'm gonna use just a small thing of the Prep and Prime from MAC. I have found this that I love this product. Now we're gonna take it and we're gonna start blotting it. We're just kind of pressing it into the skin. And we're just highlighting the center of the face. We really want to focus on that highlight being the center. This is just going to help elongate my nose. And then we're going to go ahead and get this under eye. And it just kind of melts into the skin. Now I also like, because this Prep and Prime from MAC, it helps add just a little bit of a dewy finish. Dewy means it makes skin look very healthy. Good job. We're gonna get right around the little corners of the nose, on top of the lip, and then just get this chin here. Now, what we're doing when we're using the patting motion is we are actually kind of packing the product into the skin, but we're also going to be laying the skin cells down so they're not up and they're not flipped out to where they give you dry patches. A lot of people will have a lot of texture to their skins, and that's fine, but when you're wearing makeup, it'll actually look like you have a really dry patch, but it's just a kind of rough area, just maybe a rough set of skin that's kind of needing to be exfoliated. So this actually helps lay it down to where it looks a little bit more smooth and seamless. Just gonna make sure I got everything nice and laid down and melted into the skin. All right, I think that looks good here. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is I am going to do my contouring. Now I like to use the contour kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I've had this for quite some time. You can get this at, I do believe both Sephora and Ulta have it. Let's see here. I'm going to be using a Sigma, let's see here, Sigma Flawless Airbrush number 56 brush. And we're going to pack it into the yellow undertone right here. You can see that I really like this and I use this frequently. And tap off the excess. We don't need a whole lot of product, but I'm just gonna kind of gently tap right here. Just gonna tap that in first before we highlight. Now we are gonna put a little bit more product on this here in a minute. I just wanna kind of allow this some time to set and dry. All right, so we got that going on. All right, so I am gonna grab me a nice contoured brush here. Let's see here. Actually, I'm gonna show you how to use it without being contoured. Let's go ahead and we're gonna go with the Laura Ashley brush. It's a very fluffy brush, and just imagine you don't have a contouring brush or anything that is very narrow. So what I like to do is I'll just use a fluffy brush, and I'll go into the colors that I like, and I actually use all 3 colors. Now with my color, I like the middle color in particular because it has more of a gray undertone, and I really like that. Sometimes a little orange makes it a little muddy. We're gonna tap it off because we don't want too much product, and we're gonna pinch it. So we're gonna take it, and we're gonna just kind of gently blot it along my cheekbone. And then we're gonna come down here, and I am going to kind of hide a little bit of this. Now I'm opening it up when it's down below, and I'm not pinching it because I want more broader coverage. And then I'm gonna go back into the product, and I'm gonna pinch it again, and I'm gonna put it along my cheekbone. And then we're gonna kind of let it open, and we're gonna open it back up, and then we're just gonna go around the frame of the face, and then we'll leave it open to kind of buff it and smooth it into the skin so that way it's not super harsh. Get those hairs out of the way. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna use the same brush. Now if you have a smaller brush, you can definitely use a smaller brush, but just for simplicity and just to show you that you don't have to have specific brushes. You can make any of your brushes work. You can use one brush to do a lot of things. So we're gonna go ahead and pinch it again, and we're gonna go down the sides of each side of my nose. Okay. Now what we're doing here is we are actually showing that, or we're contouring the nose a little bit to make it look a little bit more narrow. Now, what I want to do here, since we used a broader brush, I'm just going to go back and make sure that our light is still right in the middle of the face and that we have not over contoured. That's the good thing about makeup. It's so forgiving. You can just go back and do whatever you want it, or you can go back and do whatever you need to do. So whatever you want it to see, if it doesn't look right, just go back. You're the artist, you know. And what I like to say is, my husband says this, he messes it up all the time. He says, you know, you're creating a Picasso instead of Picasso, and he just tickles me. He says, you're the Picasso. And he did it once, and now he says it all the time. You're the artist. All right, we're just blotting again. All right, now what I'm going to do is I think we're gonna go ahead and start with these old eyebrows here. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, these eyebrows though. Now, again, as you guys know, I've always stated that this is not from me over plucking. This is just something, I have a hormonal imbalances that causes me to lose the outer part of my, well, actually, I say the outer part, but it's pretty much lost most of my eyebrows, and there's a chance that I'll probably lose all of them. And that's okay. You know, beauty comes in all kinds of shapes, colors, sizes, you know, just beauty comes from within. But man, do we like to draw it on and have fun with it. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna use I think it is called, hold on, I have trouble reading this every time. It's my absolute favorite eyebrow pencil. It is the Maybelline New York Brow Define and Fill Duo. Now, I have darker roots and blonde hair, but I use the Auburn. I know it sounds strange, but when I try to use any of the other, they're either too dark, too muddy. It just doesn't look right. So I actually use the Auburn pencil. Now these are amazing for staying on your skin. I have tried pomades, I've tried just a million different things. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills, but this actually to me does better. So what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you again, we're gonna look towards, we're gonna use the pencil, we're gonna come right beside where the eye tear duct is, right there, that's where we wanna stop it. Then we're gonna take it from the outside of our nose and we're gonna angle it towards the center of our eye. That's about where you want your arch. And then we're gonna go to the end to where the end of the eye is here. And that is where you wanna stop it. So basically that's what I'm gonna be trying to do, is envision that. So I'm gonna start with the bottom. And then I'm gonna kinda curve it around just like my natural one would kinda be, I think. It's been so long since I've had them. I'm just going really slow. I don't wanna curve them too much. And then I'm gonna make another line on top saying, okay, that looks about where the thickness, and I'm gonna kinda just keep drawing a straight angle like that. And then when I get to about where I think it's supposed to be, I'm gonna start angling back down just to meet those two lines. And then we're just gonna fill them in. Now the thing is with your eyebrows, they are twins. They are sisters, not twins. So when you realize that, you know, they don't have to be exactly the same to look great, that's gonna make your life a whole lot easier. All right guys, so that's basically what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one and then come back once they're ready to go. So we've got both the eyebrows done and the frames to our eyes are ready to go. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start our makeup look on our eye. Let me go ahead and grab that here. Now again, we're using the Profusion Cosmetics Lovestruck palette. Okay guys, you can get this from Walmart, you can get this from CVS, I do believe Walgreens, you can go online. I've even seen some of it on Amazon. I can tell you I would try your drugstore and your Walmart first, because I've noticed that the price on Amazon versus there can sometimes vary, but I will link it in the description box below. Let's see what colors we're gonna work with today. All right. Oh, they have such gorgeous colors, guys. Now, and again, there's so many. This is a good palette for an everyday look, and I really, really like the pigment. I look for makeup that's gonna have a lot of pigment, but very, very inexpensive. Well, I say very, very inexpensive, very reasonable. This was, I wanna say 15 to 20 bucks. Again, I'll have to review this because it's been a few months since I actually purchased it, but I actually wanted to show this on camera. There's a lot of colors. It's great for everyday looks. It's got some colors in here that's great for glam looks. And if you really want to get popping, they got some good pop and beauty looks too. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now the first color that I'm going to use is I'm going to use a transition color, or a blendable color. Now when you use a blendable color, you want one of the lightest shade that you're going to be using. Basically it starts just a foundation of where you're going to apply the rest of your product, and it makes it feather out the edges a little bit so that way it's not so harsh. Let me see here. We're going to go ahead and start with using, let's see here. I think, let me see how much pigment this starts with. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and use the color. Y'all have to forgive me, I'm trying to see it. This is the color Clay, right here. And it's just it's not a super dark, it's kind of like a beigey color. And I'm using a fluffy brush. Let me just wipe this real quick. It's a fluffy brush, and we're just gonna go and just apply the product throughout the upper lid. Now, if you have hooded eyes, you wanna come up just a little bit. See where the crease is right here? Your crease is actually you're gonna pretend you have a crease up here so that way you can see it. Now let me add a little bit more product. This is just to kind of feather those edges out, and so it's not so harsh. And again, we're gonna wipe back and forth, kind of rolling the brush. And then what we do to that eye, we're also gonna turn around and do to this eye. Just getting a little bit more product. Now, this is the color that we're gonna use to buff out the edges. So when we go back, if we see that there's some harsh edges, we'll go back either with a brush that has very minimal product to none, or we'll get a little bit of this color and actually use it to buff the edges out. All right, so now that we've done that, excuse me, got a little tickle there. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get a more angled, I don't want to say an angled brush, but it's kind of a thinner brush right here. I do believe this is Soho Tools, and we're gonna pick out this, what is that called? I wish they would list it below it. That's the one thing I would really like them to do. This one's called Lovely. It's this shade right here. And we're gonna pack a little product on that brush. And then we're going to kind of tap it out because we don't want too harsh of pigment. Now we did a broader sweep across the upper eye right here. Now we're gonna focus a little bit more towards the crease. And again, if you have hooded eyes, you wanna do it a little bit above the crease so that way you can pretend like your eye's a little bit more open, give you a little bit more real estate to work with. So we're gonna just kind of do it right here. Focus in right here. Now we're gonna go back in with that same color. And do the same thing on the other eye. Now, what I am gonna do as well is I'm gonna use this same brush to just put a little product on it, tap it off, and then I'm gonna go up underneath the eye. But I'm not gonna go all the way in. I'm just kind of focusing on the outside corners, maybe to the middle of the eye. And then follow it back up here. Make sure it's a little bit. We're just gonna do this. Now I'm not adding any more product. We just wanna kind of buff it, blend it a little bit better. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a darker shade. This is the Lovestruck, which is gonna be this color right here. And it's another fluffy brush. Getting some pigment on it. Now these are actually pretty pigmented, so I'm pretty impressed with the product. Now I can tell you, oftentimes when you get a lesser expensive brand, a lot of times there's very little product or pigment to it, which means you end up having to cake it on pretty hard and it doesn't look near as seamless or smooth. So I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with the pigment payoff with this. All right, now we're gonna use a flat brush. See right here, and we're gonna just take that same color and do the same thing we did with the other, right up underneath the eye line, but we're not going all the way in, because the reason we don't go all the way in to the inside corner is that'll shut off my eyes, and I have very small eyes, and so we don't want to make it look any less wide. We're going to try to open up the eye. All right, and then now we're going to go back with another shade that's a little darker, and I'm going to use a smaller brush, this one right here. This one's actually an e.l.f. brush. It's the contour brush by e.l.f. I really like it because it packs on a lot of product in a small area, and that's what I'm really wanting. Now this one is your Vamp color. That's the name of it. It's right here. We're gonna get that color in here, and we're gonna angle it right towards the edge and see. I want to see what the look of it is. See how dark it is. Now it's pretty dark. It's more of a, it looks more like a berry, but it's actually pulls a little bit more of the red color on my skin tone. Now guys, also to remember when you are applying your, or you're going for a look, what looks one way on me may not be the same colors on you because of the undertone of our skin. Okay, so I'm applying this to the outside of my eye, just kind of pulling it at a V shape, and we're focusing it towards the crease, but not going all the way into the corner of the eye or the inner tear duct. We do the same thing. Okay, now these are pulling a lot of red colors, and I like red and pinks, but I want to kind of tone it down a little bit as far as just the red and the pink. So I'm going to take a look in here. I'm just going to run this up underneath here. Now, if you are not used to a dramatic look, start slow. Don't use such bright colors because you're gonna think that you have coon eyes, or that you're gonna look a little bit closed off, a little bit scary to you when you're first starting out. So if you're starting a look like this, use lighter colors. Don't pack on so much pigment, because as you start to wear the products, you'll start feeling more confident and more bolder colors, things of that nature. Okay, I'm looking in here and I want to go with, believe it or not, I actually want a darker color. They have one in here, I don't know, we're gonna try it out. We'll see how it turns. This one is called Uproar. It is a more of a brown, a deep brown color with a gray undertone, it looks like, right there. We're gonna put that on and see if we can neutralize a little bit of the red. We're gonna use the same brush that we was using on the outside. Now typically what I would do in this situation is I would use a black on the outside and blend with a little brown, but we're gonna try and see if we can stick with the same colors that's all are just the colors in this palette. I like the red, I just don't want it quite as red. And we're gonna neutralize a little bit and fade it out a little bit, but I want to go ahead and get the colors that I'm working with on first. Pull it towards the eye. Now we don't want to go too far on the eyelid so we don't shut it off, but yet we do want to give it a little bit of color here. Okay. Thinking that's looking, I actually really like the way that that's going to look. Okay. So now we're gonna go back and we wanna start kind of blending it out. Let me find a clean brush. We'll go back with our boho brush. We're just gonna take a clean brush and we're gonna rub it along the product that we've already applied. We're just gonna kind of melt it in and try to blur the line between the skin and blur the line between the actual application of the eyeshadow. Okay, so we're knocking some of the harshness down. Oh, we're gonna come back up here gently, just make sure I don't see anything there that I dislike. Okay, and then we're gonna go back. Remember that same color, that clay color? We're just gonna gently put very small amounts of product in there. We're gonna kind of buff it right towards this because it got a little harsh on the inside. See, we don't want it too harsh. Do the same thing with this eye. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, make sure that's how I like it. It looks a little bit too pigmented for me over here on the outside, so we're gonna, again, that color that we're using is a neutral color. You can also, if it's too dark, there's another color here. What is that color called? It is called Porcelain, and it is the one right over here. Matter of fact, let's try that one. We're gonna put it towards the top part of our eye and just kind of carving out the eyebrows with it. Now you can also, again, use some concealer if you really want a very carved eyebrow. Look. And then I've done that. I want to make sure that I don't lose this right here. So we're going to turn it sideways. So it's going to be this direction. And we're going to brush it on. This is the brush that we used earlier. It's still not adding any more product, but yet we're still making sure we don't lose that. And then I'm gonna take a clean brush. We're just gonna kind of pull inwards, buffing out this outside corner. But I'm pulling inward because I don't want the product to go outward, but I do want to soften the line. I'm just doing it, and then I'm gonna blot it off. Make sure the bottom lashes are, or that eyeline right underneath is not harsh. Kind of blurred. Okay, I'm liking that. So now we're gonna go and get the color for the top of the eyelid. Now you could do a very neutral matte color. You just want to do like that porcelain would go good up top, but I want a little bit of a shimmer. I love shimmer, y'all. I'm like a fish. Anything that sparkles, I go toward it. Okay, this color is called Glorious, and it is right here in the palette. We're gonna see how, let's see how this pigment is. Now we're gonna try it with a brush first. Pretty good there. Now this is a lighter color, and again I use the lighter color because I want to open up the eye. It looks like it's going to do pretty good on the brush. So if you're not getting the appropriate pigment that you want, or the amount of pigment, you could also take your finger, and it works just as well. Actually, sometimes the finger, I actually prefer to use the finger versus a brush, but today I think this is working for what we're looking for. Again, we're gonna go towards the center of the eye. I'm just doing a patting motion. And I wanna highlight my brow bone just a little bit. So what we're gonna do is, let me find the right color, or excuse me, I'm gonna use this little brush out of the Artiste dupe. And we're gonna grab that same color we were using on the eyelid, and we're just gonna start about right here. Pack it in there. And we just put a little shimmer up there. We don't want too much. Pop in just a little bit here. And then a little bit on the center of the eye, or the inner of the eye. I said center, well that works too, but it's on the inner corner of the eye. And then just follow it down. We're gonna use that light color and just follow it right below the eyelashes towards the makeup that we did earlier, the eyeshadow that we added earlier. Okay, so there we go with that. I think that's gonna be great. Next thing we're gonna do, let's go ahead and add our eyeliner. And I'm just gonna put on this is the NYX Professional Makeup, well, everybody knows that. That's the point, and the shade Black. Let's see if, there you go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, and then we're gonna come back. Now that I've got my liner done, I went ahead and popped just a line on the top with a small little wing. I came down below my eyelashes, and I did just a half, or about 3/4 of the way. I went ahead and lined right there and smoked it out with just a little bit of a dry brush. Just made it real subtle. And then I went ahead and popped on some lashes. Now I will link all the lashes, or the lashes down below in the description box. And then I popped on some mascara. Now the mascara that I love, it's probably one of my favorite that's out there right now, is just the Voluminous Lash Paradise. This is in black. That's what I've got on the eyes. So let's go ahead and finish up the rest of the look. Now, what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna add a little bit of blush, and we're gonna be using the BH Cosmetics 10 Color Palette Professional Blush. This one is very loved, well loved, should I say. But this is the color. We're gonna be coming up with some new looks and some new makeup trends, or not trends, but new makeup palettes soon, and trying out some new makeup and telling you how I like it and what I do and what I don't want. All right, so we went ahead and I blend 3 different colors, and this is something I do frequently. You can tell it's already hitting pan pretty good, but these 3 colors right here for my skin tone is the best. And I'm just gonna blot it in on, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna hit my cheekbones here, and then I'm gonna go up towards my ear. Do the same and go up towards the ear. And I'm gonna hit just where the sun would kiss. Right here. Make it look all nice and blended. All right, and that is about as simple for your brush that you are, or blush that you're gonna do, and you're just gonna use a fluffy brush here. That's a Real Techniques. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of finish it up with a little bit of a lip. Now this is a rose gold color. It is 1,000 Kisses by Lasting Finish. It looks like Rimmel. I've had this for quite some time here. Let me get it. It's just a rose gold color. We're just gonna trace the lips. A lot of people like to start off with the Cupid's bow, and that's a good idea, but not the only way. Looks like I could use some really good exfoliation right now. All right, and what I'm gonna do here is instead of using a lipstick, I'm just gonna use a gloss to finish it up, but I'm gonna start by, I'm just gonna kind of shade in and do an ombre effect using the outside. You'll notice here, all I'm doing is I'm taking the pencil and coming from the outside corner of the lip and focusing it towards the center, but not going all the way to the center of the lip. I'm leaving that a little bit of a lighter color. And then I'm gonna do a line right down the middle. All this is doing is adding some definition to my mouth or my lips. It's gonna make it look a little bit more voluptuous. And then we're gonna just take a high gloss. And this one, I really like it. I love the smell, love the taste, love the gloss. This one's Victoria's Secret's flavored gloss. It's in Candy Baby. Something just nice and shiny. All right, so beauties, that's gonna be it for us today. I hope you found this very helpful and informative. If you do, please hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified each time I upload these awesome videos. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. With all your heart. Missing someone.